News 4 Jax starts right now with a breaking news alert.
50 people are dead, 53 others injured. We will take you inside Pulse nightclub just moments before the shooting. Witnesses, of course, still in shock.
But once people start screaming and shots just keep ringing out, you know that it's not a show anymore, and you gotta do what you gotta do.
A night of fun turns deadly. Clubgoers recount the terrifying scene as a man opens fire. The tragedy certainly is making waves across the country. A look at the controversial headlines that you'll see on many front pages.
And as we mentioned, there are many who died, many more injured after that gunfire at a gay nightclub in Orlando. We are continuing to learn the names of the victims of the shooting at Pulse nightclub this morning. 21 names have been identified.
Police say the 29-year-old Omar Mateen carried a rifle, an AR-15, a pistol into the packed club, started firing at random around 2 o'clock in the morning. Police shot and killed him after a 3-hour standoff.
This morning, we continue to get the very latest updates on this tragedy. We have Bruce in Orlando. Right now, though, we are going to start with Bruce, who is live there at Pulse. And Bruce, we just heard from someone who was there. They were jamming. They were listening to music. They were singing. In fact, many of them, they thought the gunfire was just part of the song.
Yeah, they thought it was part of the show. They thought it was part of what was going on. And they quickly realized that it was nothing short of a hellish nightmare. Let me show you some video that was sent to News 4 Jax from inside the club. People are going about their business, and all of a sudden, the gunfire rang out, and people started diving, hiding in bathrooms, and people even hid beneath bodies to try and save their own lives. Now, the people of this community have been very quick to react. We talked about the fact that the Caliphate has embraced the 29-year-old gunman Omar Mateen. His family, though, says he wasn't radicalized because he didn't show the physical signs. If you talk to his ex-wife, they paint him as a man who was filled with rage and hate, who was prone to hateful rants against blacks, Jews, and gays. Joining me now is Roxy Santiago, who is with the center here in Orlando. And, you know, the people in the LGBT community don't want it to be lost on others that this is a hate crime under the veil of terror.
I would have to agree with you on that, Bruce. I mean, it's a sad time for this whole city as well as the country to think that this happened right in our backyard. Lesbians, gays, Latins as well were victimized today.
It was Latin night.
It was Latin night.
And ironically, when this club was founded back in 2003 or 2004, I don't remember the exact date, it was supposed to be, number one, a safe haven for members of the LGBT community.
Correct.
A place to create a dialogue and open minds and deal with the dogma that exists in society.
Yes, yes, it definitely was. I know Barbara and the people that actually own the facility, and Pulse is an awesome place. Everybody comes out there. It's fun. It's exciting. And again, also as part of just thinking that I am a member of the HRC committee here, and this is a hate crime to us. That's what I'm feeling, and it's unfair. It's unacceptable. We love all people, and we're always going to continue to love all people in spite of all of this that happened.
And I know that Barbara hasn't really spoken to anybody since the tragedy occurred and everything unfolded, but you know her. You know she opened the sun for her son who died as a result of AIDS. Do you think she will move forward and try and continue with Pulse's mission?
I think as far as Orlando, we will move forward and keep Pulse up and coming.
And Roxy, very quickly, there's some needs here in the community.
Yes, yes, the center, which is located on Mills Avenue, which is the stepstone of all delivery of donations and everything. We are accepting daily donations of food, medical supplies, Powerade, candy, if you believe it or not.
Things for first responders to help them get through the day.
And we are providing foods for the first responder, as well as a Unitarian church that have got counselors for us. So please keep the donations coming. I know they may be slow as the days go by, but we are in need of this supply.
Roxy Santiago, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you joining us this morning. We actually, for those of you back in the booth, I've got another interview here. Patty Sheehan is a city commissioner here in Orlando, the first openly gay elected official in what they call the City Beautiful, and we're miking her up right now to talk to her to get this city's perspective from the legislators' point of view about what happened, the ongoing investigation, and the mood of this city in the wake of 100 people being shot and hospitalized and 50 people who have died and the death toll expected to rise. Patty Sheehan, thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you.
I was talking with Roxy, and ironically, the Pulse was set up as a place to open a dialogue, to be a safe haven for the people of the LGBT community.
I mean, they always were the first to open up fundraisers for people in need, political stuff. I mean, Barbara has always been very supportive of this community, so our hearts are broken for them.
You know, the president came out and he said, yes, this was a hate crime, but we are a community filled with love. Do you think that love's going to prevail here in Orlando?
I absolutely feel that way. My comments yesterday, love will conquer hate in all ways, and there was 1,500 people in line at the blood bank yesterday to give blood. They lifted the ban on gay men giving blood. This is what it took to lift.
Oh, it's ironic that you say that, because last night we were over a couple of blocks away, and there were 2 bloodmobiles staged, and a man was walking his dog, and he says, you know, I feel my hands are tied here because I'm a gay man, and I'm not legally allowed to donate, so this is something that's new.
They lifted the ban yesterday, which is about time, and unfortunately it took this tragedy because they've been able to test the blood supply for years. It took this to get them to stop that discrimination, and that's the, you know, I'm glad that gay men in my community that desperately wanted to help were able to do so.
And from a logistical standpoint, people are saying the Orlando Police Department was ready.
They did a great job. You know, there's been some second guessing about, you know, how long it took to go, and this was a hostage situation. They were trying to minimize any more casualties. So I think the Orlando Police Department did an amazing job. They actually used an armored vehicle. The chief thanked us for spending that money to buy that armored vehicle to actually punch through the wall to frighten him. They also used an explosive to frighten him, and that was enough to distract him enough to where more people could get out safely. So I'm proud of the Orlando Police Department. They were heroic in their actions yesterday.
And local reaction from lawmakers who here run the city beautiful?
Well, you know, all my colleagues, the mayor, they've all been very, very supportive. All my colleagues were out here yesterday. The only thing I was a little distressed about was all these folks talking about it wasn't a crime against the gay community who aren't supportive of the gay community. This was a crime against my community. And if you can't say LGBT, can't bring yourself to say that, you shouldn't be out here, because this affected the heart of my community, and you need to speak to the discrimination and the hatred that created this. And if you can't do that, don't bother to show up.
I know there's been a great deal of debate about the HRO ordinance up in Jacksonville.
Yes.
And Tommy Hazuri, who's one of our city council people, said this is going to reopen and push forward the dialogue.
This is why these are necessary, because there are people that want to hurt, hate, and destroy my community. And if this isn't enough to change people's hearts, I don't know what would be.
Patty Sheehan, thank you very much. Appreciate you joining us. I know it's been a busy couple of days.